5 degrees.
Local sports gambling radio show. Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
We're back, baby. Take a week off. Nice little vacation, huh?
Yeah.
We deserve it. We've been going hard for what? 8 months? 9 months?
And here we are. We're back.
We're back.
Rested, ready to go, and also with a breakfast Sammy under our belts. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff taking up to 1 o'clock. We're live at the CAZ Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. Loop 101 in McKellips. Come on out and see us. Hang out with us for a little while. Beat the heat. As you will see, it's starting to heat up. It's summertime in the desert, but they are open. TVs are on. Baseball from London on the big screens, Jackson. But the staff is here, friendly as ever. Breakfast is being served. The bar's open. Come on out, hang out with us. We're here till 1 o'clock today. But, Jackson, as we said, we took the week off, but you weren't necessarily on vacation, my man. You were on a working trip. You were, in the radio terms, you were on assignment. But it was really cool. You headed over to L.A. and got to see a buddy of yours play in the PGA Championship. How cool was that?
It was awesome. Local kid, high school out of Northwest Christian, small school off of 43rd and Bell, all the way over there in Phoenix. But, yeah, I mean, a guy I've known since I was 16 years old, just to kind of see him work hard towards his dreams of being at a major tournament. We used to talk about it all the time at lunch when we were kids and stuff like that. And to see him at that stage, particularly he didn't play well. It was kind of a reality check. The U.S. Open greens was the thing that killed him. Mm-hmm. Super fast. Rough was super thick. But to be there in person, and he's one of those guys that's driven, and he's going to be up there one day. He's in the Korn Ferry Tour right now. He's got to be top 30 to get his PGA card, and he's currently rests at 30. So he's got to finish out the season well and earn himself a PGA Tour card, but maybe eventually he will be at the Phoenix Open, play at the Phoenix Open, and maybe we'll get some tickets. He's your favorite golfer because he did like our tweet.
We tweeted out, keep an eye. Well, you never even gave his name. I'll give him a shout-out. Frankie Sappin the third.
Frankie Sappin the third, yes. Frankie Sappin the third.
Excuse me, the third. And, yeah, follow him on Twitter, just like it sounds, FrankieCapan. But he liked us on Twitter, so, yeah, he vaulted to the top of the list. But no, that's so cool. You know, the grind to qualify. Like, he just didn't show up and say, let me play. He had to qualify.
Yeah, so he had to play at a tournament in Minnesota to qualify for the qualifier.
Yep.
And then he had to be at the qualifier and be top 5 out of 76 golfers. He shot 11 under. He had to play 36 holes in a row, shot 11 under to make it to the U.S. Open. I was also lucky enough that I had a pass, like one of the family passes. So I was in the player hospitality. let me tell you, Gross, these golfers get spoiled.
Yeah.
They get spoiled. I walk in, they shipped pasta from Italy.
Come on.
Best pasta I think I've ever had. They had king crab. And usually sometimes when it comes to those bars and stuff, they kind of limit your drinks to 2. The bartenders kept the drinks flowing. They said, "Oh no, you need more drinks. You want a single?" She came up to me. I was like, "Hey, I want a whiskey Coke." She said, "Double." Just like, "No, you want a single or double?" She wanted a double. I said single, but it tasted like a double. So they went crazy there. And it was cool to see guys like Justin Thomas, Max Homa, Scotty Scheffler, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, DeChambeau, all these guys. I was like, from where you're sitting, I was this close to them.
Well, you were telling me that before we went on the air. Set the stage for our listeners. The difference between an event like the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Phoenix Open out at the TPC of Scottsdale, which every year sets a new attendance record, and you take the good with the bad with that, right? It's a great event. The Thunderbirds do such a great job putting that event on. But let's be honest, getting in and out of the Waste Management Phoenix Open, it can be a chore, especially on Saturday. But you were saying they limit the crowds. This was at like an old school country club right in the heart of Los Angeles. So it didn't have the acres and acres of parking that you get at the TPC. So just a different setting for this tournament.
100%. And it's funny, too, because the only other golf tournament I've been to was the Phoenix Open.
Yep.
That was my first one. So it was night and day. But for folks out there that are wondering why it was so, like, there wasn't as many fans, it could not have gone. It could not have gone 80,000 like it was at Brookline. I think it had like 60 to 80,000 in Boston. Boston fans are different. They're more adamant towards different sports, especially golf. LA's used to having those bigger events. They're used to having the chaos and the traffic and the Grammys, the Emmys, the ESPYs, all those kind of stuff like that. It's just the pathways were super narrow. It sucked because on the first tee box, it's right next to the clubhouse. You can't put stands there because it covers the clubhouse. So that was one thing, too. As spectators, it was tough when our boy was getting announced. You had to have a pass. I didn't have a pass at the time. But, I mean, hopefully we'll see. Again, it was a good tournament. They'll be back in LA. I believe they'll be at Riviera in a couple years or so. But I think, honestly, this might be better for Pinehurst because LACC's gotten a lot of hate and a lot of things they need to change. Pinehurst can go at it next year, turn it around, and have a good U.S. Open here in 2020.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You look at it and you think like L.A., and just what you described. It's the epicenter for all these events. But the L.A. Country Club, of course, which was the site of this tournament, that opened in 1897. Yeah. So this is like old school golf club in a big city. You know what I mean? And so the setting couldn't be different. I'll tell you what, I was in L.A., nowhere near the tournament, of course, but I was in L.A., it looked amazing on TV. Like the setting on TV.
Oh, beautiful.
It was beautiful. Like, and local TV in LA, they ate it up. They had their guys, their local sports guys on for hours after the tournament because it got over fairly early LA time because of the time difference back to the East Coast. And, it was an amazing TV event, right? But again, you got a country club that was open over 100 years ago, 125 years ago almost. You're not gonna do what you do at the TPC of Scottsdale or some of these other places.
Yeah, I don't think LA itself is a golf city. I think cities around it, when you look at maybe Riverside, you look at Southern California, San Diego area, or even San Fran, you can go to Northern. I think those are your more golf central cities. But my last point, as we put a cap on this conversation with the U.S. Open. Two things. One, Lionel Richie's house is ginormous on hole 4. What you saw on TV, there's a backside where there was like a garden, a waterfall, fountain, 3 guest houses too. And the funny thing is he was playing music behind it too, so you could hear some Lionel Richie music, which I thought was pretty ironic. And then one. So I got 3 points. My second one, Playboy Mansion behind 14. You could hear monkeys, you could hear peacocks out of that house. So I don't know what's going on over there at the Playboy Mansion, but it was a party this weekend. My third point, it's funny. On Wednesday, I got on Wednesday, and my friend Frankie showed me into the locker room, and I met one golfer. And this golfer that I met was Wyndham Clark, because how the locker room's set up, it's based on alphabetical order and stuff.
Right.
So I met him on Wednesday. Turns out he turns around and wins the U.S. Open. So it was cool to meet him. He's not that tall of a guy. He's probably like my height.
You know what? It's so funny you should say that, because a good friend of mine used to write for the Denver Post. His name is Sam Adams. I've had him on the show a couple times. He does Denver Broncos post-game shows on TV up in Denver. He's a touring comedian now, but he was a full-time sports writer for the Denver Post. And I'll show you during the break. He posted an article this week where he did a feature on a 6-year-old kid who nailed a hole-in-one playing in a youth golf tournament.
What?
Way back in the day. And he apologized because he didn't introduce him as the winner of the tournament this weekend. It was Wyndham Clark, when he was 6 years old, a feature in the Denver Post by my good friend Sam Adams.
Yeah, and he lives in Scottsdale too, Wyndham Clark. So what I've heard. So, hey, Wyndham Clark, great story. It was good to see someone. I believe he was like plus 6,000 odds to win, which was great. I wish I would have saw Rory win it, though. I mean, Rory's been so close. He's been, like, especially the U.S. Open, I think the last, like, 3 or 4 years, he's been in the top 5. And Wyndham Clark, I don't know if you watched the U.S. Open, but his tee shot on 18, just, I mean, he could not have used – he used all of the fairway. The widest fairway of 18, it basically straight ahead, hits a slice. I want to say slice, not even a hook, a slice. And he's probably like an inch away from the rough on the right-hand side. Gets it on the green, lag putts for par. But all in all, great tournament for the U.S. Open. Stoked for the British Open to come up because now with basketball gone, I think golf, for me personally, we'll talk baseball too, but golf is going to be fun to watch. Majors, the other tournaments coming up. But I'm fiending for football, Gross. It's been the longest offseason of football ever.
Hey, here it is time, Jackson, for it used to be our Premier League pick of the week from our good friend and our national champion, Ryan Sirk. He's now pivoted, and he's given us his MLS pick of the week. Columbus Crew versus Nashville, over 2.5 goals. Both teams have high-powered offenses with shaky defenses, so take that 2.5 over 2.5 goals in that match. And also, he loves Mukhtar on Nashville. He will tally a goal in this match. So that's your MLS pick of the week from our national champion, Ryan Sirk. We're out here at the CAZ Sportsbook, taking up to 1 o'clock. You're home for Major League Baseball. We got the game on right now from London, and the Cardinals are doing what the Cardinals do in 2023. They're losing 5-0 midway through this game. They've got soccer matches, speaking of MLS. They've got international soccer matches, and, of course, MLS, UFC, and everything else sports-related here at the CAZ Sportsbook on these huge big-screen TVs all around the sportsbook.
Might I say the Cardinals are playing a little rummish in London there, sir?
Yeah, you may say that. Thank you very much. In addition, what was that?
Rummish, it means strange. It's English terms.
I was more commenting on your beautiful British accent. That was lovely. Sorry. And the CAZ Sports Bar is the home of the Rockamanooch Lager brewed by Huss Brewing right here in Tempe. So if you needed another reason to head out here and see us today at the Sportsbook. Coming up on the show, we're going to visit with Nick Picoro, covers the Arizona Diamondbacks for azcentral.com. The Arizona Republic has been doing it for a long time and does a great job. Diamondbacks in first place. We're going to spend a lot of time on that. You, Bauer, and I, we're going to make our picks. We're about at the halfway point of the season. Will the Arizona Diamondbacks hang on and win the National League West? I know we got some thoughts on that. We'll jump into that. Coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Golfers, teed up at Vans Golf Shops for the huge Callaway Trade-In, Trade-Up event happening now through June 30th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive 2 times your trade-in value towards any new Paradigm, Apex, Big Bertha, Great Big Bertha, and Reva family of clubs. This huge trade-in, trade-up event is happening now through June 30th. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1963.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me, free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Join Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The Guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Hey Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language. When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
NBA Con is coming to Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, July 7th through the 9th. It's the ultimate basketball event featuring over 50 appearances by NBA stars and so much more. Visit NBACon.com and get 10% off select tickets with code RADIO through June 30th.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call, no BS.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
You guys are hot.
Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back, rolling along on a Saturday. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. People got a lot of Cubs fans in here today, man. The Cubs are winning 5-0, and every time they do something, which has been pretty frequent in this game, the Cubs fans react. Either that or people gambling on the Cubs, one or the other.
I think they're up 7-0.
A lot of people here in the Sportsbook.
7-0.
7-0. What is that, the 4th inning?
Yeah. You got your glasses on? You're good?
I'm good.
Your eyesight's good?
Well, I had to look over your shoulder, and it was a commercial, so I was trying to buy time. Thank you very much for that. No, my eyesight every day gets older. Hey, or every day I get older, my eyesight gets worse, I should say. As we were talking about for us doing the show the way we do it, this turned at the start was a very football-centric show. And then we got into the basketball, college pro basketball, a little NHL talk. Now it's summertime. We're in the dog days of summer. And the thing that's been frustrating doing shows in the last, 8-10 years, for the most part, with the Diamondbacks, they haven't been very good. But here we sit, Jackson, almost the halfway point, not the All-Star break, because All-Star break is like once the season's 75% over, something like that. But if you look at the games played, we're about at the halfway point of the season. Diamondbacks, as we sit right now, have 85 games left. So you play 81 and 81, right? So there's your midpoint. So they're closing in on that. And it's wonderful. We're talking about a first-place Arizona Diamondbacks team, and it was kind of unexpected because at the start of the baseball season, we said, all right, here's the number of wins that Las Vegas predicts. And they had the Diamondbacks, depending on who you looked at, the number varied a little bit, but it was right around 500. So 81 wins. You saw it maybe as low as 78, 79. A couple bumped it up 82, 83, but for the sake of discussion, call it 81. They're blowing through that. I mean, that number is obliterated. But more importantly for the fans and for us doing shows like this, Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B during the week, we're talking about a first-place baseball team, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's an absolute dream for any Arizona sports talk radio or TV figure out there, because at this point you're used to the D-backs being awful and reporting live, hey, D-backs lost to the Angels 9-1, or now they're last place, deeper hole into the NL, and now they're in first place. And we look at the odds right now for the NL West, their division they're currently in. So on June 3rd, they were plus 950 to win the NL West.
Right.
A week later, June 10th, plus 600. And now we sit on June 24th. They are currently plus 550 to win the NL West. Behind now the Giants. Before, the Giants were, I believe their odds were worse than the D-backs. The D-backs sat at second place behind the Dodgers.
Right.
Dodgers now at minus 250, which their odds have gone up tremendously. They were at like minus 1,000 a couple weeks ago. So it's interesting. Now the books like the Giants.
Give me the Giants number again.
Giants plus 480. D-backs plus 550 to win the NL West.
The Dodgers are what? Minus
250.
250. And where do the Padres sit right now?
Padres, I just closed
Sorry
that
about
window out.
But I think the Padres are interesting because of all the attention on them, where they blew up the salary cap. I mean, there's no salary cap, but their salary, what they're paying. Like this is a team that's built to win now.
Padres plus 1,500.
Plus 1,500.
And then your Colorado Rockies plus 25,000.
Yeah, okay. We won't spend any time on the Rockies. Looking at the standings after last night's game, Diamondbacks lose at the said San Francisco Giants. So now the Diamondbacks lead the National League West by 2.5 games. The Dodgers trail by 3, and the Padres are 8.5 back. And for me, as I said, the interesting thing is you look at this is, will the Diamondbacks be able to hang on and maintain this lead, get into the postseason, right? And, there's a lot of things that you got to factor in, a lot of baseball left to be played. I'm going to, and we got to go around the horn on this, and we're going to send a poll out later. I don't think they do. I mean, you look at it, they've got some pitching questions. But the other thing that the Diamondbacks are, and I give them credit for this, and I mean what I said at the outset, this is a hell of a lot better than talking about a fourth-place baseball team right now. But the Diamondbacks have been a beneficiary of an easy schedule to start the season. The schedule flips, or the script flips if you look at it. The Rockies have the hardest remaining schedule in the National League West, and the Dodgers and the Giants have the easiest remaining schedule if you look at that. And so, for me, that's where you got to look at it. The winning percentage of the Colorado Rockies opponents going down the stretch, 522, 515 for the Diamondbacks, 506 for the Giants, 501 for the Padres. The Dodgers' remaining schedule is under 500, right? So if they can get their act together. The other thing is, and Bauer, I need your opinion on this because you watch it closer than all of us. Whatever you want to say about Matt Ishbia, you will say the exact opposite of Ken Kendrick. Will this team be allowed to go out and spend to bolster? They need pitching. If you watch the game last night, this team needs pitching in the worst way. Will Ken Kendrick open up the tight purse strings on this franchise, stop complaining about the roof at the stadium for a second, and put a competitive field or allow them to build on this team right now and chase this title, which is so cool to have that. We started the conversation with how cool is it to be talking about this finally,
right? And the thing is, I mean, that is quite the comparison in terms of the freewheeling spending ways of Matt Ishbia and trading and being willing to take on monster contracts. Yeah. So I would say most owners don't live up to that standard in terms of his short tenure as owner. But look, you're absolutely right. In the past, this team has not also not been in the position to, but this team has not been buyers.
Right.
This team has made moves. They have shown over time that there are instances in which they do make significant capital investments. Zach Greinke, Madison Bumgarner, obviously, giving Corbin Carroll a contract, and right now it looks like it's going to be a very team-friendly deal.
Absolutely.
If he keeps his current career trajectory, MVP chance going when he steps into the batter's box at Chase Field, deservedly so based on the season he's having. But hey, look, if there's a starting pitcher out there to be had, and if you have to add salary, maybe even if it's a one-year rental type player, I think that's the kind of move that you have to make as you're the Arizona Diamondbacks, because you have, and they just put it out there the other day, 2 aces right now.
Yeah.
They put it out there, they put a graphic together and all that stuff, and and obviously the guys, Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen, are backing it up with their performance. But what happens after that in the rotation?
You get what you got last night.
And you have Zach Davies. You have an occasional, Tommy Henry has a good start every once in a while. You have, for the Diamondbacks right now, after those first 2 aces, and that's great, the way that they're both playing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly probably both deserving of all-star bids. But after that, you have a bunch of question marks. And for the Diamondbacks, for a team that, that down the stretch wants to stack some wins and fend off those teams, it's great seeing the Dodgers not even in second place, by the way.
Well,
but they are the beast in this division, and you have to try and keep them away. And
you know what I'm afraid of,
with
though?
2 starters and a bunch of question marks, it's tough.
You know what I'm afraid of, though, is this has the feel to me, Jackson, like a couple years ago when, right around November, I forget the exact date, when the Cardinals were 10-1 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And we were buying plane tickets to the Super Bowl and stuff like that. And then the season falls off, and guess where they go? They go out to Los Angeles and lose to the Rams miserably in the postseason. You can say what you want about the Dodgers and what they're playing right now. If the postseason started today, the Dodgers would be in it.
Yes.
Right?
And the Dodgers would probably be the team nobody wanted to see.
Exactly correct. And that's my biggest fear going down the stretch, though, when you look at this Diamondbacks team.
Yeah, when you remember that Cardinals team, too, they didn't make any real trades or they didn't gain anyone at the All-Star or at the trade deadline for the NFL, too. And they had a lot of injuries down the stretch. So that's what we worry about the D-backs. My question to you, Bauer, is there a guy that comes to mind, a starting pitcher that you would maybe go get? Is there anyone that comes to mind that they could maybe trade for at the trade deadline?
Okay, this is a pie-in-the-sky, absolute monster dream type situation. But Marcus Stroman apparently not too happy with the Chicago Cubs and the fact that they're not going to give him a huge deal.
There you go.
That would be an absolutely through the roof addition if they could add somebody like him, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So hoping that he stays unhappy in Chicago.
Lots more Diamondbacks come on the show, and we need to talk about, if you're going to go shopping, you got to be willing to give something up. And the Diamondbacks have been unwilling to do that with a lot of the young talent, and they are loaded right now up and down the system, young players on this major league roster as well as in their minor league system. But we'll get into that later on in the show. Still to come, Nick Picoro from the Arizona Republic will join us to talk Diamondbacks. But up next, guys, the Suns, they were kind of busy since we last gathered.
Speaking of trades.
And we'll talk about that next, coming up on Fox Sports 910.
By the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Win a customized Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B. Wright Toyota Cornhole Board Set. Just text RIGHT to 55678. That's RIGHT to 55678. Message and data rates may apply. That's RIGHT to 55678.
Golfers, tee it up at Vans Golf Shops for the huge Callaway Trade-In, Trade-Up event happening now through June 30th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive 2 times your trade-in value towards any new Paradigm, Apex, Big Bertha, Great Big Bertha, and Reva family of clubs. This huge Trade-In, Trade-Up event is happening now through June 30th. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1963.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings, bone and breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
You hear it in other lawyer ads, and I'll repeat it in this one. All personal injury attorneys are not the same. Sure, we all claim to do the same things, but that's where the similarities between Lerner & Rowe and all other law firms end. Lerner & Rowe was recently named the second most influential law firm in the country, and we've collected billions of dollars for our clients, with over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. If you want real results after you've been hurt in a car wreck, call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Well, that's a big check. Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car at Carvana.com today. Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. Around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
Drover's Morning Glory.
It's The Woody Show.
It's Elliot in the morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
All of the best free curated playlists. It's everything that rocks. All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the app.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Free iHeartRadio app now.
It's Connor.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook. It's
You guys are hot?
Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
I don't care. 63 days, fellas, till college football kicks off.
But who's counting?
63 days from right now, we will be sitting here at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. We will be enjoying Navy and Notre Dame live from Dublin. I predict 63 days.
Let's go, Navy.
Mark your calendars. We got baseball on from London today.
Oi.
Also on August 26th, we've got UTEP and Jacksonville State, UMass and New Mexico State, Ohio and San Diego State, Hawaii and Vanderbilt, San Jose State and USC, and the nightcap is Florida International and Louisiana Tech.
And yes,
that
folks,
is coming up in 63 days.
You can bet on the first week of college football. Navy at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is minus 20.5.
Come on,
the
Navy.
spread has come out Minus
Navy.
1,100 money line. The money line for Navy is at plus 680.
All right, guys. As we said, going to break, it was a busy time for the Phoenix Suns. I was going to say in the last week or so. We've been off. So say with the last couple of weeks for the Suns, and we put a poll out there at our home on Twitter. And we wanted to get your thoughts. I should say at Fox 910 Saturday. But we put a poll out there, the big trade that brought Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards here to the Valley for Chris Paul.
It's now official.
Yeah, it's official. And there's some, other movement underneath there. I think they're still trying to figure out the number of draft picks that the Phoenix Suns moved.
Well, 1,300, I think, is the over-under on that.
Yeah.
I think, including swaps.
But our Twitter poll, which is still available at Fox 910 Saturday, how do you feel about that trade? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you taking a wait-and-see attitude? And not surprisingly, I think Suns fans and people that voted on our Twitter poll, 56% say, you know what? I love it. I love that trade.
I'm surprised that number's that low because what's not to love? You're giving up trash and you're getting a very good player and you're not paying the salary. So who cares about the salary? You're not the one paying, because to me, that's the biggest question mark is how did they make this work from a salary standpoint? Fine, I'm not the one writing the checks. Matt Ishbia is. He's writing the checks. If he's going to pay extra, great, all of that. In terms of player for player and a whole bunch of picks here and there and pick swaps, and it's officially 5 future second-round picks, 4 future pick swaps and cash considerations, and 1 future second-round pick to Indiana, by the way. But you bring over Bradley Beal, who can absolutely fill it up. I mean, you talk about almost a Devin Booker-like type shooting touch in terms of his ability to just get microwave temperature hot on the basketball court. It's a tremendous move. I'm surprised that's not 90%, and the 10% of it is people who are just really, really big fans of Landry Shamet for some reason, or Chris Paul.
Well, I'll take issue with the trash part. Like, if you... We're not even having this conversation. We're not having this conversation about where the Suns are right now without putting some love on Chris Paul's name.
Hey, look, Chris Paul was great,
but he's not trash. Whatever else he is,
he's not trash.
And you're going to see him.
Hall of Famer.
You're going to see him.
He's for you transactionally. He's trash. You were going to waive him. I'm not saying he is a trash player. I'm saying for you, that was a player that was not going to be part of this team next year, and you just got a very good
potentially one of the options.
Somebody you were going to leave on the garbage heap.
One of the options was on the table was to waive him and bring him back, right? So it wasn't as if this guy's out of the league right now. But I point taken. You saw the ceiling with this team, and the first domino to fall, Jackson, was you let the coach go, right? And then you knew you're going to have to shake up some semblance of the run it back, because that wasn't going to work again this year. So I'll grant you that. You might rue the day when you see Chris Paul down the stretch, though, whether it's with Golden State or where I think he ideally would rather be as one of the LA teams. But Chris Paul is gone, and now you get what you get. Your thoughts, Jackson, on the way that poll shook out?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts here. Obviously, what Bauer alluded to earlier is the guaranteed money having to pay $15 instead of $30 million.
That wasn't happening regardless.
That was amazing, unreal. The fact that they could get Shamet gone as well, because I've always been saying this on this show and other shows, keep Shamet on the bench. He had one good game against the Nuggets, cool, and one good game in the playoffs, cool. But another thing that stands out is I'm excited to see what Bradley Beal does on a motivated championship team. We've seen him on the Wizards. The Wizards haven't been in the playoffs in Lord knows how long, since Paul Pierce made that bank against the Hawks back in like 2012. But this is a motivated Bradley Beal. And the biggest thing is he wanted to come here. He had a no-trade clause in his contract.
The only full no-trade clause in the entire National Basketball Association.
Which is insane to think about. But to see him here when the Suns, during the playoffs, you needed Booker and Durant to score anywhere between 70 even to 90 points, which is ridiculous for two players to do. Now you bring in Bradley Beal. You got Booker and Beal that can flip back and forth. Both can control the offense and both be a point guard. But also something to look out for, too. The Suns also got players out of it. Jordan Goodwin's a good player. He's a scrappy guy. He's a good defender. Another point guard they have on the bench to add with Campaign.
Yeah, and I think when people look at it from a salary standpoint, understanding your point, I've always had that opinion as well. If you ain't writing the check, don't worry about it. But on the other side,
figure it out. They got some nerd that'll crunch the numbers.
On the other side of the coin, though, you're going to be really limited in terms of what you can do, right? You're not going to go out and say, well, we need to sign 3 or 4 more other guys and break the bank, is already broken, right? So you're going to be looking for guys that can come in here on vet minimums, maybe guys looking to rebound their careers a little bit, maybe guys that want to play on a team that looks like it's going to be really, really good, and you want to be part of something and maybe, again, use that to launch your career. But, the bank is already broken, so don't worry about that. The other thing that I think the wait-and-see crowd probably was looking at is Bradley Beal hasn't been the most durable guy over the last handful of years, right? And that was the knock on Chris Paul as well, where he was breaking down towards the end of the season, and you didn't have this guy when you needed him most in the postseason at full strength, right? Played in 50 games a year ago, 40 games the year before that. I get confused on the COVID year, how many games we actually played. But the year before COVID, he played in 57 games, right? So here's a guy that's
the bubble.
Here's a guy that has struggled a little bit to stay on the court, and that's an issue as well. When you look at Kevin Durant's not the youngest guy in the world now. Bradley Beal, I think that might be part of the wait-and-see crowd's opinion as well. I don't think you can go all the way to hate it based on that, but it's something to keep an eye on.
I want to take this kind of to the next step, and let's draw the triangle now. And you mentioned that Chris Paul would maybe rather be back in either the LA team he was traded to or the LA team that wanted to trade for him back when David Stern pulled the plug on that one. Who's playing basketball longer next season, Chris Paul or Devin Booker? Which team is playing later in the season?
Devin Booker.
Probably. I think we all hope Devin Booker, but I think in the last 2 seasons we thought Devin Booker would play more basketball than he did, and I think that's the hurdle this team needs to get over. Whether it's Bradley Beal or whether it's Chris Paul, are you going? Let's say he stays with Golden State. Are you going to bet against?
Right.
Are you going to bet against?
Assuming he stays with Golden State. That's
assuming
my
he
assumption.
stays with Golden State, are you going to bet against Golden State going deep? I mean,
with Chris Paul coming off the bench behind the greatest point guard in the history of the NBA, maybe not named Magic Johnson,
right?
But yeah, I mean that to me for them is a very good acquisition down the stretch, and obviously Draymond Green is still a question mark for them. But to me, if you're a Suns fan and the Suns are out of it, are you rooting for Chris Paul and the Warriors?
No, not necessarily.
No.
I don't think Chris Paul's there. I disagree with people that are saying put him up in the Ring of Honor like yesterday, on the way out. But I do.
Wait, are people saying that?
That's out there.
Really?
I do put respect on Chris Paul, Jackson, because he was a huge part of what we've witnessed for the last couple of years with this team. Monty Williams is gone, but you have to give him respect. And at the same time, you've got to give it to Chris Paul for everything he did.
Yeah, guys, and we're here today in a position where there's a super team place in Phoenix because of Devin Booker. Devin Booker said in 2018 he wants a super team to come to him.
Yep.
Chris Paul was that first guy that saw him at an early age when he was young. He said, hey, I want to come in. I like this kid. And like you mentioned, I mean, they went to an NBA Finals. They've had a winning seasons. Yeah. The last 3 or 4 years have made the playoffs as well. So you got to give credit to Devin Booker. But again, Chris Paul, we appreciate their leadership and all you've done, but it was time for you to go.
And I think the other question that you have if you're a Suns fan is, and again, I think this falls into that wait and see category. If you look at the last 2 seasons, the way each of these seasons ended, blowout loss at home to Dallas, blowout loss at home to Denver, what did the Bradley Beal trade do to fix that? That's the question.
As we sit here at the Casino Arizona Sportsbook, guys, I want to take a look at some of the odds. Our good friend Jimmy Shapiro sent over some numbers. The Phoenix Suns making the Bradley Beal move. The odds for the Suns 9-1 moved to 13-2, which puts them tied for third with the Bucks. Of course, those numbers moving around a little bit. I mean, after Wemby gets drafted, I think the Spurs have already locked up the championship based on some people's minds. But in terms of his points per game, over under 21.5 for Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm.
Points per game for Bradley Beal, 21.5. Total regular season games played combined for Beal, Durant, and Booker, 154.5. 154.5 total games combined for Beal, Durant, and Booker. Now the trio combined for 163 games 2 years ago, 150 this year. So there's odds out there and you mentioned in terms of the injury history of a Bradley Beal, and obviously we know if Kevin Durant missed a bunch of time last year, is that there's even odds out there of how many games these guys will even play together. And that
would be a fascinating one, and I'd love to track that one as the season starts and
You
then
got.
through
I'll
the season.
bookmark that.
Book that, Mark. We'll come back to it.
Yep.
Another big question for the Phoenix Suns we'll jump into after the break is DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, he's still there.
He's still a member of the Phoenix Suns.
What do you know?
What's the future for DeAndre Ayton? We'll talk about it next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Herd. Attention listeners. With Colin Cowherd.
25-game suspension for Ja Morant. We've all got to grow up at some point. Some people, it takes a long time. That's okay. And Ja Morant right now has influence. Now it's time to finally embrace the responsibility of having that influence.
This is The Herd. Monday at 10. Tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy D Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Are you living paycheck to paycheck only to find yourself going backwards financially each month? Nobody wants to file bankruptcy, but at many times, it's the best choice. The credit industry wants you to believe that bankruptcy is bad and that it will destroy your credit forever, but that's just not true. In most cases, filing bankruptcy can improve your credit. At Lerner Rowe Law Group, our bankruptcy lawyers only work on bankruptcy cases, and we can file your bankruptcy with $0 down.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci here for the new Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Legacy Park located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages, and it's the new home of my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call the Cocoa 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-5 sportsaz.com. And for limited time, mention me, Dan Minucci, and they'll give you your first session free on me. That's 480-572-0647 or go to elitesportsaz.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's Summer Playcation Package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Make the right choice, Wright Toyota in North Scottsdale. There are so many dealers to choose from, but there's only one that truly cares about the people here in Arizona. Wright Toyota is family owned. They are not some huge corporation led by a bunch of bean counters that are all just concerned with the bottom line. The family at Wright Toyota invests in the community and local charities. Proceeds from every car sold goes directly back to the people in need. Wright Toyota is even dog friendly. If you just want to shop from home, log on to WrightToyota.com RightToyota.com for their full inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. That's right, the right place, the right selection, the right people. Right Toyota on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at RightToyota.com.
Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Wright Toyota, well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Wright Toyota, well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
You guys are hot.
Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back in. CAZ Sportsbook hopping here on a Saturday morning. All right, guys, we talked about the addition to the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal in. DeAndre Ayton, Jackson, still a member of the Phoenix Suns, and there was some question, some consideration maybe as to whether or not he might be dealt during or leading up to or during Thursday night's NBA draft, but no, he's still here. Depends on who you believe. On one hand, you hear that Frank Vogel does not want to trade DeAndre Ayton. Frank Vogel wants to take the time to work with him, get to know him, thinks he can bring something out of him that Monty Williams was unable to bring out. And on the other hand, you've got the NBA reporters, the insiders, I'll say, saying the market is so soft that the Suns can't just give him away. You've got to get something in return. And I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle here. But our friends over at PHNX Sports, the Suns coverage, they have a list of trades would work for the Phoenix Suns if they want to deal DeAndre Ayton.
Let's get some clickbait over here. What do we got?
Well, first,
let's go clickbait.
I think we all should go around and say, do you think the Suns should keep DeAndre Ayton or trade? I think we're all kind of on the same boat. What do you guys think?
Are we? Well, let's find out.
Okay, well, I think they should trade him. I mean, for me personally, Frank Vogel, yes, they always mention Anthony Davis and Roy Hibbert and all these centers that Frank Vogel coached. But last time I checked, when they were all-stars before Frank Vogel got there. They were all-stars. They were playing at a high level before he got there. Yes, he excelled their game. Yeah. But DeAndre Ayton is not an all-star. This is DeAndre Ayton. This is what you're going to get. A 7-foot athletic guy that will not attack the rim. This is what you're getting.
So you say trade him.
Trade.
I say no asterisk. I say you start to see if because I'm tending towards it's kind of like a DeAndre Hopkins thing. There was no market to trade DeAndre Hopkins prior to the NFL draft, regardless of what DeAndre Hopkins wanted you to believe, right? And I think it's the same with DeAndre Ayton at this point. If they could have traded him, they would. So I say do not trade him, asterisk. Let's see what happens the first part of the year. See if Frank Vogel really can bring something out of him and reconsider this leading up to the NBA draft, NBA trade deadline, whenever that is after the first of the year.
But my thing, though, is how are you going to fill out the roster with DeAndre Ayton, though? How are you going to fill out the roster with depth,
You're going to get a bunch of NBA vet minimum.
Yeah, here's how you do it, is exactly what you mentioned last segment in terms of the super team situation, right? You talked about that Devin Booker, Chris Paul comes to play with him. That was a trade, but technically. But, hey, you're going to be able to get, a Derrick Rose. You're going to be able to get depth because there are guys that are going to look and do exactly what we've seen happen with LeBron James teams in the past, seeing exactly what we've seen happen, with the Warriors and other, super type teams. The Phoenix Suns are in that pantheon right now with Booker, Beal, with, that Kevin Durant guy, and with DeAndre Ayton in place. Again, it's not me paying the checks. I'm not signing the checks. So you bring in a bunch of guys on veteran minimum deals, and because you've gone out and you've added these incredible players, you're going to get guys that are potentially going to take a discount to come here to try and get some jewelry. To try and win, and even maybe not that, but to just try and play as part of this team and have swagger all season long, because the Suns are going to have that.
And you look for guys that are on two camps for the available free agents. Older guys that want that last run. Guys that want to come and be part of something, that understand their role on a team like this. The other thing is guys that are maybe towards the middle part of their career, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out, want to be on a good team and use this as a launching point to the next contract. One or the other. Those are the two people, two camps of people that you look for, because at this point, to Bauer's point, you're not writing the check, so don't worry about that. But if you're an intelligent basketball fan and you scratch beneath the surface, you know they're very limited right now in terms of what they're going to do. In other words, they're not going to go out there and outbid somebody for a particular free agent. They just can't do that. So you're going to have to be really selective in terms of what you do and how you fill out this roster.
So to answer your question, I don't think they do trade him. I don't think they do. I think they stick around. I think they stand pat right now. And those are your look. Hey, it is a disrespect to his talent, not his production, but it is a disrespect to DeAndre Ayton's talent to refer to the Suns players as the big three. They really do have a big four players right now in terms of talent.
I disagree. You and I think the same thing. You don't trade him?
Don't trade him.
I think it's more of an acknowledgement about how soft the market is for this guy with unrealized talent. Because if they could have traded him by now, he would have been gone. I firmly believe that.
I mean, especially if you look at the before and after of the draft, right? Because that's when things happen. Before the draft, you're trading a guy like him for picks and potential.
Absolutely.
And that did not happen. I think they stick with Ayton. But I hold the door open like you did, Gross, for maybe a midseason.
Maybe. We'll step aside for top of the hour update, take care of some business. Hour number 2, which includes a visit from Nick Pecoro from the Arizona Republic. That's coming up next. Fox Sports 910.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is always adding exciting cocktails to the menu, like the expertly balanced Simcoe Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
Golfers, tee it up at Vans Golf Shops for the huge Callaway Trade-In, Trade-Up event happening now through June 30th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive 2 times your trade-in value towards any new Paradigm, Apex, Big Bertha, Great Big Bertha, and Reva family of clubs. This huge trade-in, trade-up event is happening now through June 30th. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1963.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Oh, that's a big check. Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car at Carvana.com today.
Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
What's up? It's a Target trend alert. New swim has just arrived and it's sunny weather approved. If you're into bikinis or one pieces, high waists or cutouts, they're the perfect combo of trendy, flattering, and affordable. That's right. And there are so many cool styles with gorgeous details. These suits have macrame, crochet, wood beads, pretty shells, and more. Totally a Lux for Less vibe.
Yes, so dive in and shop this Target trend without the spend.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. We are by force. And here's what you need to know.
One game in progress in Major League Baseball, the first of a two-game set in London. Cubs jumped on Adam Wainwright early to the tune of 7 earned runs in just 3 innings of work for the veteran. It's now 7-1 Cubs in the bottom of the 6th inning. St. Louis does have a couple of men on base. Earlier, the Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge told the media his toe injury that was initially diagnosed as a sprain is actually a torn ligament. There is no concrete timetable for his return. Judge has been out since crashing into the outfield wall at Dodger Stadium on June 3rd. The Yankees have gone 6-10 in his absence. In the NBA, the Knicks have declined the $15 million team option for point guard Derrick Rose, making the former league MVP a free agent. Rose played in just 27 games for the Knicks last season. In golf, third round of the Travelers Championship, Keegan Braggley now has a 3-stroke lead over a couple of others, while Justin Thomas and Ricky Fowler are 6 strokes back. Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele are
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center. Visit myguy.com for 5-star local referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
Our Saturday bringing us a forecast high temperature of 105 degrees with plenty of sunshine around the valley. Then overnight falling to a low of 75 for the morning low on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, things really starting to heat up, a high of 108, mostly sunny and breezy. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm meteorologist Crystal Ortiz.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 toward your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You guys are hot?
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeart Radio app.
Welcome in hour number 2. Live from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff out here till 1 o'clock. Connor and Richie back in the studio. Thanks for hanging out with us. Getting a little toasty out there. Come on out and see us. Check out international baseball today. Got the Cubs and the Cardinals live from London. They just did a time lapse of Major League Baseball setting up the stadium, taking out the soccer pitch, Jackson.
Hey.
And putting in a baseball
The Cardinals
field.
scored.
Is it a baseball pitch?
7-1.
If the game's being played in London?
That guy just threw a baseball pitch.
Is it a pitch or a field?
It's definitely a field.
Come on.
But I was making a dad joke because the pitcher threw a pitch.
I saw that.
Get it?
Talk about how happy we are as Diamondback fans right now. Cardinal fans are miserable.
Yeah, how you guys doing? And you aren't talking Arizona Cardinal fans. You're talking St. Louis baseball Cardinal fans.
Yeah, they are absolutely miserable right now.
Did you know they're the best fans in baseball, right? They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that repeatedly, that they're the best fans in baseball. They're potentially going to blow that up. I was just talking to somebody here at the Sportsbook who said, you know what they should do? Should trade Goldie back to the Diamondbacks.
Right.
It's like, whoa, hey now. Look, not that I don't want Paul Goldschmidt here, but where you're going to bring him in at DH, right? Is he going to play first and you're going to bounce Christian Walker to DH? You're going to pay for that? If you're going to open up the Ken Kendrick purse strings, you should do it for a pitcher.
The National League Central is remarkable. You look at, again, the last place, St. Louis Cardinals.
Uh-huh.
They're 31-44 today. They're out of time, I think. 80, 85 games left, give or take. I mean, they're essentially out of time, and so they need to be looking towards the future. And meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds, winners of, 11, 12 in a row now, are sitting atop that division, but only 6 games over 500. So it's an average division.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Reds are on top to me it's remarkable.
And 12 in a row is right. They are 41-35 on the season. They have won 12 straight games for Cincinnati.
When do the Diamondbacks get them? We haven't seen the Reds yet this year, I don't believe.
So the Reds are coming to town. Let's see. I'm looking at the good old schedule. This is great radio when me looking at the schedule going, when do they come? The end of August.
I should have known before I asked the question.
No, they're
hopefully they're still hot when they get here.
4-game series at the end of August. Speaking of hot, Tampa Bay comes to town next week. By the way, get your tickets now. DBX.com.
I love it. I you look at it. You're talking about meaningful baseball, right? With a team that's in first place. Diamondback fans specifically, or hell, baseball fans in general. It doesn't get any better than that. You hear about the dog days of summer. Jackson, you could be in Detroit. You could be in St. Louis, best fans in baseball. You could be in Colorado. We mocked the Rockies already this show, and we'll do that regularly from here on out. You could be in one of those cities and have the dog days of summer, but here you are in Phoenix, Arizona. What the hell else are you going to do when it's 115 degrees out? Go see the Tampa Bay Rays, the first place Tampa Bay Rays playing your first place Diamondbacks. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, those two teams came into the league together.
That is true.
So there's some history there.
Yep.
Get out there and see that. Then you got the Reds. Hopefully the Reds are still good at the end of August when they get here.
Well, and
meaningful baseball before you fall to second place behind football. Take it in.
Second place, and then what? Third behind basketball and college and NFL. So now you're at fourth. But hey, if you look at that in terms of if you're looking at the Reds. And I know you got your eyes on that. The series you have right before that, hell, the Texas Rangers are playing great baseball. They're coming to town right before that. They're 47-28. So lots of kind of surprises in the world of baseball this year because the top two payroll teams aren't even in second place in their division, and that would be the Yankees and the Dodgers. The top two payroll teams in baseball, and the Yankees and Aaron
Where are the
Judge,
Padres on that list? I know they're not in first place.
Padres are fourth, I think, but they're definitely not. They're below 500 in fourth place right now in the West. But you have teams like Arizona and Cincinnati, and I'm talking about payroll. So Texas, they spent a whole bunch of money, but surprising teams leading their divisions. Baltimore is one of the best teams in baseball. They're 45-29. They're ahead of the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox.
You mentioned what you want, Bauer, in terms of helping this team. This team needs pitching help.
I would like to see the Diamondbacks add a starter.
Right. The thing with the Diamondbacks for the last couple of years is they've been building up a tremendous farm system. We're starting to see some of these guys on the big club. But the nice thing for the Diamondbacks, the way they run this team versus the Dodgers and the Padres, is that they're on club-friendly contracts here. And that's been part of the hesitancy in the past of dealing guys like that away. Because if you're going to go get out a quality Major League Baseball pitcher in return, you've got to give something to get something.
Yeah.
Who is untouchable right now, and who could you see on the block to get the necessary return to bring the caliber of pitcher back that you need for this team right now?
Look, for the Diamondbacks, there's a glut of outfield talent right now for the Diamondbacks, and obviously near the top of the prospect list in all of baseball is their top pick from last season in Drew Jones. So they have an elite level prospect around the corner as well. So you could potentially see them make a move with I know, there's fans aren't going to like hearing this, but an Alec Thomas or a Jake McCarthy or a Pavin Smith. Corbin Carroll is untouchable. Absolutely 100%. To use, silly sports talk radio, 110% untouchable. He's untouchable. Alec Thomas, Jake McCarthy, Pavin Smith, if you could make a move, I don't want to see them move a Lourdes Gurriel Jr. as well. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's potentially an all-star, potentially even an all-star starter, along with potentially Corbin Carroll, depending on how that voting goes out. But if you could make a move there where you give something, even a young player like an Alec Thomas or a Jake McCarthy, who are very exciting, fan favorites, a Pavin Smith. But I think that's where you're looking at potentially making a move at the big league level in terms of prospects. Look, if you're the Diamondbacks and you're going to go out and you're going to try and add a starter, does it cost you a starter? down in it? Does it cost you a Brandon Pfaadt? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
His cup of tea at the big league level hasn't been great so far, but he's an elite level prospect, and that might be what you need to go get a stud pitcher at the deadline or potentially before the deadline. You've seen teams do that more often.
And it's, Mike Hazen deserves so much credit for what he's built underneath here, right? To put the team in this position to even be having this conversation. But this is where you pivot away from building that roster to making tough decisions.
Yeah.
Because you draft these guys, you invest literally and figuratively in these guys, you watch them grow, you watch them develop, and then to make a decision about, we're going to let you go and you, because it's not going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
No.
It's going to be a let you go, and you go
Yep.
to get a quality Major League Baseball starter. Like you to get a pitching, an arm that's going to help this team is going to take multiple assets. And that's where you shift from the build to kind of the reorganize, I guess, if you're Mike Hazen. And he's done such a good job with the build to give them the pieces necessary to even have this conversation right now.
Yeah, and the Diamondbacks have some very, very good talent at the AA, AAA, even the single A rookie ball level. There's talent through the system,
Yep.
and as you mentioned, he has stocked the shelves. He's filled the coffers, whatever you want to cliche you want to use to build this team and get them where they are. And now it may be a tough decision for Mike Hazen and his team in terms of what do you do to go out. Now that you're a buyer at the deadline, if you're a buyer at the deadline and you're going to go get, whether it be a Lance Lynn or, another pitcher, something like that. If you can go, oh my goodness, it would blow my mind if you can go get a Shane Bieber or something like that. If you can go out and make an acquisition, it's going to cost you mightily.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that, but look, hopefully this conversation keeps going. It's exciting to be talking this way. And I'm going to say it. We're in mid-June, but this deep in the season for the Diamondbacks. Real quickly, before we step away to make room for our visit with Nick Picoro, shout out to Nick Gonzalez, a product of Cienega High School down in the Tucson area, played his college ball at New Mexico State. He was just called up from Indianapolis and is with the Pittsburgh Pirates now. So shout out to Nick Gonzalez. We had him on the show a couple of years ago, right after he got drafted from New Mexico State, and great to see Arizona kids getting it done at the highest level. So we'll keep an eye on him. But again, we'll step aside here. On the other side, we head up to the Bay Area and say hello to and have a conversation with our good friend Nick Picoro about those Arizona Diamondbacks as they get ready to play the Giants. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Win a customized Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B. Wright Toyota Cornhole Board Set. Just text RIGHT to 55678. That's RIGHT to 55678. Message and data rates may apply. That's RIGHT to 55678.
Golfers, tee it up at Vans Golf Shops for the huge Callaway Trade-In, Trade-Up event happening now through June 30th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive 2 times your trade-in value towards any new Paradigm, Apex, Big Bertha, Great Big Bertha, and Reva family of clubs. This huge Trade-In, Trade-Up event is happening now through June 30th. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1963.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, hashtag Sexy Roof Status. At State 48 Roofing, we are family owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe, here to tell you the biggest thing I've learned about insurance companies over the years, and it's really simple. They don't care about you. That's it. Insurance companies are publicly traded companies who have an obligation to their shareholders to deliver profits. They have teams of investigators, adjusters, and lawyers all working against you from the moment you call them, and they want to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. Hurt in a wreck? Don't be a victim of the insurance companies. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino,
I got Nick on line 1.
Sports Fans Paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer at Chipotle Mexican Grill, weighs in on the power of audio.
We've used audio to reinforce what we're showing in other. When you're private reach, boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
Rover's Morning Glory.
It's The Woody Show.
It's Elliot in the morning.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
All of the best free curated playlists. It's everything there rocks. All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on
You guys are hot.
910.
Back in Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff from the CAZ Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. As promised, we head up to the Bay Area and talk Arizona Diamondbacks as they get ready for Game 2 of the weekend series with the Giants. And from the Arizona Republic, azcentral.com. How you doing today?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Nick, I got to ask you before we talk baseball. It's going to be 100 and something here today, 115 next weekend. You're wearing a jacket at the stadium right now, aren't you?
No, I'm actually not there. Believe it or not, Teo Mackey is there for us. I am back here at home and sweating just like you guys.
All right, well, then if you were there, you'd be wearing a jacket. I was just cooling off watching the game last night, watching people bundled up behind home plate. I love it. Nothing like a baseball game in June from the Bay Area. Hey,
no, it's awesome. I've had some of my coldest nights of my career in that ballpark. It's great.
Amen.
I think that's a Mark Twain saying, like the coldest summer. There's something about winter and summer in San Francisco that he put together one of those Twainisms. Hey, Nick, before we talk about the specifics here, let's take a step back. We're approaching the midway season. Diamondbacks, I think, have 84, 85 games remaining. And, when you just take a step back and look at I like the term performance versus expectations, right? You look at where people thought this team was going to be when the season kicked off in late March, early April, and where they are now. Kind of break it down for us, your thoughts on, this team, where they're at, and, how far ahead of most people's expectations they are.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would have said that this was a team that had a chance to be in this sort of position. Maybe not up ahead of the Dodgers, but in a playoff spot. If a lot of things came together, So I mean, I'm not like to quibble with your point. I think you're right. They are definitely ahead of expectations. I just think the thing that's sort of surprising is kind of the way that it's come together. Because I think they're a very good team, and I think they're playing very good baseball. But I also think that if you kind of step back and look at some of the individual parts, it doesn't totally make sense to me. I mean, if you'd have said like they would be at this point in the season having already optioned, Jake McCarthy, Alec Thomas, Josh Rojas, Brandon Fott would have come up and struggled. The other young starters would have struggled. Bumgarner and Davies would have pitched terribly. All of that. Like I don't think that anybody would have really seen it coming together, but like they're getting it done every night, and it's impressive to watch. It doesn't. Like I said, I don't feel like it totally makes sense to me, but you know what? In 2021, when they were just absolutely miserably bad and everything that could have possibly gone wrong was going wrong, that didn't totally make sense either. So maybe they're just sort of, I don't know, maybe the universe is balancing it out for the Diamondbacks this year.
Nick, we're a sports betting show, and I'm looking at the Cy Young NL odds right now, and Zach Gallen is currently the favorite at plus 190, and this being his 5th year with the D-backs. What have you been most impressed with Zach Allen this year that has set him apart versus the previous years he's been with the D-backs?
I feel like, honestly, it doesn't really seem all that different to me. I think he's, really since if you throw out the 2021 season when he was banged up, and I think spent maybe 3 different times he went on the injured list. I think he's been a pretty darn consistent and awesome pitcher. I guess he's getting a little bit deeper into games with more consistency. I feel like he's kind of keeping his pitch count a little bit more in check. I would say that his secondary stuff has probably been even more consistent this year. His changeup has been a weapon. His curveball has been a weapon. His cutter, I feel like maybe has come and gone a little bit, but I think he's been pretty great. I think it seems like those kind of down stretches, those quote unquote struggles that he has, he seems to kind of cut those off pretty quickly. So like he'll have a few rough ones and he's just right back on track pretty fast after that.
Yeah, I mean, and he bounced back from that rough outing in Detroit with a couple good outings as of late. The Arizona Diamondbacks put together, a nice little graphic on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. Pocket aces, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. They both have 9 wins this year. Nick, you've watched them up close and personal. So they do have those pocket aces. Those guys are playing great right now. My question to you is looking ahead, the trade deadline around the corner. The Arizona Diamondbacks struggling in terms of consistency from the starters after those first 2. Is there a move to be made? And if so, is it the kind of thing that you think this team's going to go out and make that kind of move? Whereas in the past, they've been sellers at the deadline. Now they might have to be buyers.
Yeah, I don't know. You mentioned that just reminded me of, I was in Milwaukee and talking to Craig Counsell a little bit about the Diamondbacks, and he was just saying, and he's had experience with this with some of the pitchers in his rotation in the past few years, but he's saying how valuable it is to have those 2 guys at the top of the rotation that can almost like single-handedly win a game for you. And that, gives Merrill Kelly all the credit in the world, because I don't think he was that a couple of years ago, and now he has turned himself into that. It's impressive how good his command is, how few mistakes he makes, how good his changeup has become. He just has a lot of. There's a lot. I mean, I guess he has. I don't know if he has a lot of weapons, but he just doesn't make mistakes. So it's just he doesn't give hitters too many opportunities. And then I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think that there's going to be a ton of sellers, which probably means that the price is going to be really high to get what you need. I don't know where that's going to put the Diamondbacks. I certainly don't think that they should be trading, Jordan Lawler or Drew Jones to plug a hole. It just seems a little bit too risky, and I don't know that like the window is like closing on this team. I feel like the window is more opening. So I think that you're going to want to be careful if you're the Diamondbacks to make sure that you don't do something that's going to maybe open it up a little bit wider this year, but close it in the future years, right? I mean, it feels like with Corbin Carroll just getting here and his, new extension just kicking in, like this could be an opportunity to have a really extended run of success. So I would think that they're going to want to be careful with what they do. But I mean, that said, there's no denying it, right? I mean, they've got two really good starters. And then I'm not sure who you'd feel good giving the ball to in game 3. Maybe the answer, I'm sure they're hoping, emerges from one of these young guys. Maybe even it's Brandon Fott, who's in AAA right now and has always been the guy that they've liked the most out of these young starters. And maybe he comes back and establishes himself, and they feel good giving him the ball in a playoff series. We'll have to see how the next 6 weeks or so play out.
Nick Picoro, Arizona Republic, azcentral.com. Find him on Twitter at Nick Picoro. I'm always jealous of anybody who gets their actual name on Twitter. It's just not fair. Nick, we're sitting here at Casino Arizona at the CAZ Sports Bar, the Casino Arizona Sportsbook. And so I'm gonna ask you this, kind of parlaying on the discussion of what move they might make, is what trade chips do they have in terms of guys that they would look? Corbin Carroll is a non-starter. He's not going anywhere. But in terms of those players, is Jordan Lawler untouchable? You kind of referenced his name a little bit. Drew Jones, Brandon Fott. In terms of if you have to cash in some chips to bring in a major league level starting pitcher at the deadline, what are some of those pieces the Diamondbacks might be willing to part with to bundle together 2 or 3 younger players to go out and get a starter or another position player to give them some ammo for the stretch run? What are some of the chips they could cash in?
Yeah, I talked to GM Mike Hazen a little bit about that last week. And, one of the things he was saying was if there are going to be fewer, pure sellers, that more of the trades that are going to go down might end up being like big league for big league type of thing. And he thinks that some of the guys that they have right now in AAA Reno, while not necessarily big leaguers, by definition, could be in other organizations. And I think what he's referring to is the fact that they've got Dominic Fletcher and Dominic Canzone and Kyle Lewis among the outfielders down there. They've got Buddy Kennedy, and Rojas is down there at the moment as an infielder. They've got some starting pitching depth as well. Guys like Fott, Chacon, Jarvis. They've got some relievers that throw hard. So, I mean, maybe it's a matter of finding what they need by flipping out one of those guys. I guess Alec Thomas is another guy that you could kind of throw in there if you wanted to. I mean, look, they played pretty well without him there for a month. Now he's obviously shown, in these games since he's come back that he's got some upside. He's got some serious potential. And maybe that, allows them to, go get a young starting pitcher for a young outfielder. I don't know. I do think that they have some talent. Some of these guys maybe come with some question marks. But I would think that, maybe if you're trading 5 years of control of one guy for a couple of years of a more proven guy, that they could get you something that of what you need. It's just a question of whether or not you're going to be able to replace that player you're trading away. And like I was saying earlier, whether that's going to possibly hurt you in the long run, that's really going to be the risk. And I think another thing to keep in mind is that Zach Gallen is going to be going away probably 2 years after this. So there is a little bit of a window here if you want to look at it that way. But the amount of young talent that they have in the organization could make you think that that the window could be open for longer than that.
Wrapping up with Nick Picoro, who covers the Arizona Diamondbacks for the Arizona Republic. Nick, Jackson here on the show. We talked about the odds to win the National League West as we sit here today. Looking over your shoulder in the National League West standings, you got the Giants 2.5 back, the Dodgers 3 back, the Padres all the way 8.5 back. If you're the Diamondbacks fan, who are you looking over your shoulder? Who are you most concerned about in that bunch as you think about the National League West crown?
I don't know. They're all kind of concerning in their own ways. I think if you're the Diamondbacks, you're just thinking, we got to get more out of the back of our rotation. We've got to get a little bit more, a little bit deeper in the bullpen to where you feel good giving the ball to more than just 2 or 3 guys. And I think too, there's times where the offense has been great. I don't want to knock it too much, but I think you're just hoping that you can find ways to, as they have, kind of continue to make the most of what they've got. it's interesting. You look at some of the expected numbers on the batted ball stuff and the actual numbers. They've been a very fortunate group, and I think you saw some of that last night with runs scoring on mistakes by the opposition or kind of softly hit balls. So I think it's just continuing to lock it in offensively and get a little bit more consistent. I mean, back to your question, obviously the Dodgers have been doing it for so long. You kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to assume that Padres team with all that talent is eventually going to, click a little bit better than it has. And I guess we should mention, though, that Fernando Tatis has been unbelievable since coming back. He's kind of picked up right where he left off and is right up there in the MVP discussion, despite having missed 20 games this year with the suspension. And then the Giants, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I see it in the same sense, but, a couple of years ago, they were a pretty awesome team and made the most of what they had. So I think all those teams, like I said, are a little bit scary in their own way.
Hey, Nick, the best team in baseball comes in. What kind of litmus test is this for the Arizona Diamondbacks when they get back home from San Francisco in this weird road trip and they have Tampa Bay in town this week? What do we learn about the D-backs? What do they learn about themselves?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think when the Phillies and the Braves came through in recent weeks, we were asking Torey Lovullo and other people that same question, and I think people are like, I don't know. We already think we're a good team. I don't know that we really need to convince ourselves or convince other people of that. I think that there's maybe some truth to that. But look, I mean, these guys haven't played great against the better teams. You look recently, I think they lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Phillies. They did take 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee, who I guess is a first place team, right? Not a very good one in one of those central divisions. Neither of those central divisions are any good. But I guess I would like to see them start to play better against these winning clubs. It would kind of give you a little bit more hope that when they get into October, assuming they can get there, they'd have to really collapse to not make one of those 3 wild card spots. I feel like at this point, that they would have a chance to make an impact. So, that's the only thing I'm really looking at it as. It's just, how do they match up for these clubs? Do they have a chance to be a real impact team come October?
That's Nick Piccaro. Follow him on Twitter. Also AZ Central Sports and Arizona Republic. Nick, great stuff as always. We appreciate it. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
That's Nick Piccaro alongside. I laughed when you said Nick Piccaro. He has his own name as his Twitter handle.
It always just bugs me,
at
man.
Mike
It's not
Jack
fair.
Bauer.
I have a fake radio nickname just to get a Twitter handle.
At Jackson Groff.
Yeah, he's got his name.
At Mike Gross.
Yeah, but I had to put the fake radio middle name in there. Come on now, just to get a handle.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I'm jealous. I'm
wish you
straight
could
up jelly.
We wish you could be part of the club. We'll step aside here. And on the other side, we welcome back for his weekly visit, Casey from the Sportsbook here at Casino on Fox Sports 910.
Take the
You guys are clear?
points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on Right Toyota. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's Summer Playcation Package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci here for the new Coco 5 Performance Center at Legacy Park located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high, high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages, and it's the new home of my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call the Cocoa 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to EliteSportsAZ.com. And for limited time, mention me, Dan Minucci, and they'll give you your first session free on me. That's 480-572-0647, or go to EliteSportsAZ.com.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker, NMLS 1091187, license MB 0924983, and equal opportunity lender.
Hey Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, babe, what you got there? This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this. Well, that's a big check. Well, obviously you could put this towards your next car, or we could finally get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my... Or I can put it towards with Carvana. Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call, no BS.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox
guys are hot.
Sports 910.
Thanks again to Nick McCurl. Join us in the last segment to talk Diamondbacks. Fascinating time to be a Diamondbacks fan. You got a first-place team. You got lots of questions as the trade deadline approaches, which isn't until August 1st, I think, something like that. Later than usual, at least it seems like that to me.
Well, there's only one trade deadline now, which is nice because there used to be two. There was the trade deadline and the non-waiver trade deadline, and all. So now there's one trade deadline,
and it's they kind of met in the middle.
Yeah.
It's August as opposed to
August 1. Yep.
All right, Casey, bye for his regular visit with us here on the show. And Casey, we're talking golf with Jackson earlier in the day. He took the week off last year to go to last week, to go over to LA for the tournament. We've been talking baseball, but here's the real deal: 63 days until college football starts. We're just biding our time until college football gets here. If I wanted to right now, could I walk up to the window here at the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, and put money down on the Notre Dame Navy game, which is the first game of the year, live from Dublin on August 26th?
Yeah, you can do that as well as you can come in. You can bet season win totals as well. So, yeah, we're ready to take all your football bets.
Hallelujah.
I need it.
We need it. It's going to be a long 63 days, Casey. I mean, don't get me wrong. As we said at the outset of the show, we love talking first-place baseball, but it's not as much fun as talking.
What is that, 9 shows? Is that 9 shows from now? If I did the math correctly.
Maybe 8 shows. Something like that. 8, 9.
You're going to give me a headache if you start doing math.
Yeah.
So in 8 or 9 shows, we get to start talking about the Cardinals being at the bottom of the NFC West.
Yeah.
Well, we can just start at that now. I mean, that's just can I actually place a bet on them being the last place team? Because that, I mean, Maybe I want to place a bet on them getting the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft too.
I could do that. I was surprised, Casey. I came in. We were setting up for the show this morning. We went on air at 11 o'clock. There's a pretty good contingent of fans in here watching the baseball game from London. I don't know. I figure this is one of two things. It was either Chicago Cubs fans, as they are winning right now 7-1, or it was people that wagered on the Chicago Cubs as baseball fans being very happy with the outcome of the game. But every Saturday we come in here, you got a nice crowd, you got a great setup, you can sit at a table, enjoy food and drink, or you got a cushy little section right in front of you guys there at the Sportsbook.
Yeah, we always have an awesome setup here on Saturdays, normally a full staff. Throughout the day, we'll have more and more people come in. But like you said, we got a lot of Cubs fans that come in. Manager Jack's a Cubs fan, so he gets all of his buddies to come on in as well.
There you go. All right, we're getting ready to do our picks. And as we usually do, we will not revisit the previous week's result. Apparently, I've been told, Jackson, in the past, it's not cool if you keep doing that. So we'll just gloss over whatever happened 2 weeks ago, and we'll make this week's picks, Jackson.
0-3. Ugh.
That was a rough week. Get out the brooms.
Jeez. Me and Bauer at 1-2. Casey and Gross 0-3 last week. But we're about to turn it around.
That was ugly, Casey.
Coming up here, we got all baseball. Because the only baseball is the only thing going on right now, Casey. D-backs at Giants. D-backs favored by 1.5 runs. Over-under sits at 8. Casey, who do you like in this one?
I'll take the D-backs today, money line with Merrill Kelly on the mound.
All right.
I'm going to represent with the Sun Devil there. I like that. Way to go.
Right.
I'm going over in this one. It was, not the outcome we wanted last night. I think part of that was, that was a brutal turnaround they had going to Washington to play that makeup game, getting on a plane, even though it was an afternoon game, getting on a plane, getting to San Francisco. I like the over. Give me the over in this game, Jackson. I'll take it.
Are we doing our picks now?
I thought we were.
Okay.
I thought you said we were. Let's do it now.
All right, we'll do it now. We'll do it
We'll do it with
Bauer?
D-backs.
D-backs?
Obviously. Come on now.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be the Debbie Downer here. I'm gonna go Giants.
Wow, what a
the Giants
downer
getting
you are.
another one here.
I mean, you're also are you taking the run line, or are you going to go? You taking the 1.5?
Yeah, I'll take the 1.5. I like it. Plus 1.5. That's a lot of runs, But anyways, Astros.
I mean, in our random picks, we don't have a VIG, so there's no.
yeah.
Astros at Dodgers. Dodgers favored by 1.5 runs. The over/under sits at 8.5. Casey, start us off.
Go Dodgers.
I cannot, in good conscience, ever pick the Dodgers. I don't care. I'm not actually putting money on this game because I can't bet on baseball. So I am going to pick the Astros because screw the Dodgers. I hate LA.
I'm going the other way for some. I don't care about either one of these teams, but Major League Baseball coming out this week saying, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should have punished the Astros more. Like 3 years after the fact, come on! Like
fat lot of good that does.
If you are really a fan, you need to hate the Astros above all else, even the Dodgers.
The Dodgers fans definitely hate the Astros.
I didn't say fans. I said the teams.
I got you.
So give me the Dodgers, Jackson.
Dodgers. I'm gonna go Astros as well. I really hate the Dodgers, so I'm just gonna go. Astros.
I love that. I love your hate for the Dodgers, though, Jackson.
I just hate every LA team, man. They're all the worst. They're just bandwagons. They're just the worst.
The teams or the fans?
Both.
The Dodgers do have a rookie phenom on the bump for them, Bobby Miller. He's in the mix with Corbin Carroll for Rookie of the Year in the National League. He's a very good young player. I mean, I hope he loses by 10 runs, but he's putting together a pretty good season. That young man is in the Rookie of the Year conversation in the NL.
Then our last game, we got the Nationals at Padres. Padres favored by 1.5 runs. Over/under sits at 9. Casey, who do you like?
How can you ever take the Nationals?
Nationals are awful.
Yeah, Padres.
Yeah, Padres. Nationals are awful. I mean, the Padres, and Nick Picoro kind of touched on that. If this team ever turns it around and figures it out, they're sitting 8.5 back right now in the National League West. Look out. And this is a good way for them to get healthy or maybe confident or both. So, it's got to be the Padres.
I mean, look, if Juan Soto was pitching, I would still pick the Padres in this game. Give me the Padres. The Nationals. What a dumpster fire they are this year.
Yeah, I just saw
every year.
The Padres won 13-3 yesterday. Give me the over. I'm going to go the over on this one.
I like
over 9.
That's a very good recency bias. Hey, they scored a lot of points yesterday, and today they're going to get many goals and touchdowns. Yay, sports.
Wrapping up with Casey here from the Sportsbook at Casino Arizona. Casey, what are the hours? If I'm out and about, want to come in and see one of you guys at the window, what are your guys' hours during the summer?
Yeah, so we're open every day from 8 a.m. through 11 p.m. If you want to come in and see a person, if you want, we also have the kiosks available. We have 6 located here that are open 24/7. You can bet throughout the day. And anytime that we're closed, you're more than welcome to go to the main cage and cash out your tickets as well.
I love it. 24/7 service here regardless. You got the kiosk, you got the cage, whatever it is. If you got that winning ticket, they'll take good care of you. Again, we're at the Sportsbook every Saturday from 11 to 1 doing our show. Come on out and see us. Casey's a regular visitor with us. Love having him. And Jackson.
Breaking news. The New York Knicks are not picking up Derrick Rose's $15.6 million team option and will be a free agent.
There you go. Somebody on the show.
15.5 though. That's a lot of money for someone that didn't really play.
Didn't I mention him as a guy that'd be great for the Suns earlier as a veteran minimum type addition?
Derrick Rose would fit in nicely with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. We could see what the game's played total is when you mix in Derrick Rose. Casey, good stuff as always.
Awesome. Thanks.
We'll talk to you next Saturday. We're going to step aside here. Final break of the day. We'll come back and.
Book at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Chris Paul, Landry Shamet are going to the Washington Wizards for Beal. I don't mind the trade for Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns gave Denver more trouble than anybody else in the playoffs. They played 8 games together in the regular season, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. They lost Chris Paul, and they came out there and got 2 games off the world champion.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Monday at 4 on your smart speaker. Say play Fox Sports 910.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Hey Arizona, do you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup? When you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to go visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. When you have the Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The summer sales adventure going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to El Bandito Yankee.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
With every other attorney out there claiming to be the right attorney for you, it's time we look at the facts. Lerner & Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people receive compensation for their injuries. We've recovered billions of dollars, with over $1 billion recovered in the last 5 years alone. We have over 50 attorneys and over 400 legal professionals and the resources to fight for you. The reality is, there's Lerner & Rowe, then there's everybody else. In a wreck, need a check?
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What?
Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Win a customized Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B. Wright Toyota Cornhole Board Set. Just text RIGHT to 55678. That's RIGHT to 55678. Message and data rates.
Just a heads up, you guys are out at 5706.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
And after the sun sets, Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites.
Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
That was a great dinner.
So great. Wait, where'd you park the car?
Oh, the one I just sold to Carvana.
What? When did you do that?
When you were still looking at the menu, I went on Carvana.com and all I had to do was enter the license plate or VIN, answer a few questions, and got a real offer in seconds.
They picked up the car already?
No, I parked around the corner. But they are picking it up tomorrow and paying me right on the spot.
Oh, no wonder you picked up the check.
Yeah, about that. Thought we were going halvesies.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
You guys are hot.
On Fox Sports 910.
Thanks again to our friend Casey from the Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. Always good to have him on air. And like a lot of conversations that happen, good conversation on the radio, the off-air conversation is even better. Some of the stuff that Casey shares us. Come on out and see him. As you heard, they're open 8 to 11 Monday through 7 days a week, and Casey, the team here, will take good care of you. Jack runs the show. We appreciate them hosting us each and every Saturday. All right, fellas, we talked about our Twitter poll question from last week. Let's set up the question we're going to post this week, and we'll do a deep dive into next week. And Jackson kind of broke it down for us at the start of the show when we look at the standings in the National League West as we approach the halfway mark. If you look at the 4 teams in contention, and I'll include the Padres for now in that conversation. They're right around 84, 85 games left, so we're not quite at the halfway mark. And one of the, growing up, I remember the All-Star break was the official halfway mark of the season.
Even though it wasn't ever mathematically.
Not mathematically, but it was a lot closer back in the day than it is now. But right around 84, 85 games being played. So our question that we're going to post classic as soon as the show is over, as we approach the midway point of the Major League Baseball season, who wins the National League West? We got the Dodgers at -250, the Giants at +480, the Diamondbacks at +550, and the Padres at +1,500.
Ooh, okay.
And sorry, Rocky fans. There's a lot of complaints about Twitter, and one of them, I guess, would be there's no opportunity to put in a team that's 16 games off the pace, sitting at 30 and 48 right now. So we'll post that question and break it down next week. And Bauer, to your point, we might have some clarity with the Diamondbacks as they get a little bit of a test. They've got 2 more games with the Giants in the Bay Area, and then they come home for an interesting series.
Yeah, first pitch about 10 minutes from now. Still on Valley Sports Arizona. There's some news on that over the course of this past week. But first pitch at 1:05 the next couple days. They're off on Monday, an actual off day, not an off day in which you have to make up a random game in Washington like this past week. But you mentioned close to the midseason point, the 81st game, right? 162 divided by 2 is 81. The 81st game is the Wednesday game against the Tampa Bay Rays. So that is mathematically the midpoint of the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Tampa Bay is by far the best team in baseball. So that is, I think, a little bit of a litmus test for the D-backs, depending on how the pitching matchups stack out. But hey, Gross, when you take a look at it in the back half of the season, the strength of schedule is not something that tilts in the Diamondbacks' favor in terms of, and the strength of schedule is always an interesting kind of metric. but halfway through the season, it's much different than at the beginning of the season. I don't look at strength of schedule a ton at the beginning of the season because teams are totally different. Now, this is how the teams look right now, and the strength of schedule not favoring the Arizona Diamondbacks heading into the back half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, the Diamondbacks have been fortunate. I think they've played most of the teams from the American League Central, which is clearly, again, the worst division in baseball. So but the nice thing about Major League Baseball kind of leveling the playing field is everybody plays the same schedule, essentially. You might have some differences, the home and away breakdown, but everybody's going to play the Tampa Bay Rays, and everybody's going to play the Kansas City Royals. So things should shake out over the course of the long season. Jackson, of the three of us, you're kind of and you've said this isn't breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
You're kind of, the least favorite sport for you is baseball. Have the changes, and we've talked a lot about this at the beginning of the year, have the changes combined with the Diamondbacks being relevant and playing really good baseball, has it changed your outlook? Are you paying more attention to baseball this year maybe than you have in seasons past?
I am indeed. The success of the Diamondbacks has drawn me back. And, I'm not a true fan of the Diamondbacks for wanting to, engage when they're good and when they're not good.
But you're like a lot of people in Phoenix.
Exactly. But I was looking while you guys were talking about the preseason MLB win totals. And what was the win total for the Diamondbacks before the season?
Don't tell me, because we talked about this. It was upper 70s, wasn't it?
I believe it was 76, and I said dead over.
75.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So we sit here at 46 wins. They've got what you said, 80-something games left in the season.
84.
And they only have to win, if my math is correct, 30. They just got to win 30 more games. Will that ticket be cashed?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Easily.
Yeah. That'll be cashed before Labor Day, I think.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
close to Labor Day. I think so. And clearly playing well over their skis. I don't know if you have it. This is bad radio if you don't. Are the Cardinals on that list?
Cardinals are on this list.
Oh, my goodness.
Where did they settle in? Because the Cardinals are, if they're not the most disappointing team in baseball this year, they're up at the top of the list.
They also might blow things up here.
They were 88.5. The Padres were 93.5.
Yeah, Padres are in that conversation as well.
Hey, before we get going, I know we're up against it. We weren't on the air last week. Mike Gross, I want to say happy Father's Day to you.
And you, Bauer, your
Jackson,
first one.
I'm sorry we missed talking about your first horse race you lost last week.
I know.
We missed it.
He got second place. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm just glad I'm not celebrating Father's Day yet.
There you go.
23 years old. Thank goodness. Not a father yet.
Thanks to everybody out here at the CAZ Sportsbook, your home for our show as well as Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B. Check out Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B. Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. Thanks to Connor and Richie back in the studio. We'll see you next Saturday right here on Fox Sports 910.